Getting the DNAfit report today, there was definitely a big surprise, and looking at it, if I'd got it at the beginning of my career, I think obviously, being a professional rugby player, you'd have to look at it holistically. I think what is nice about now knowing is you can look back in your career and you can sort of maybe puzzle pieces together where you were maybe injured and how quickly you recovered from that. How I was able to put on 8 kilograms as a 19-year-old and then maintain that throughout the rest of my career. I might have been able to change my mindset in terms of me not believing I could do endurance stuff, so maybe my outlook on running a bleed test or doing the 1.6 kilometer time trial that we did at certain points in my career would have changed, just in terms of that mental preparation, so that you could possibly push yourself further because your body would allow you.
And what we've got here is, as I said, sort of a mix with a slight bias towards endurance response. Okay. Now, I reckon you're quite surprised by that.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by that, given that I feel that I fatigue pretty quickly. Especially with some power endurance stuff. So a test like a watt bike or a row or something where your VO2 gets thrown out pretty high for short periods of time. So that's very interesting.
Yeah. So what I would say is that remember, this doesn't tell you what you're currently good at.
Yeah.
Or what you can or can't be good at. You're effectively you're in a team sport. Especially if we're talking like sevens, let's say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of endurance that's actually needed for that,
A lot.
And if we talk about what's the epitome of power, we're probably thinking of a shot putter. And the
100%.
epitome of endurance in the ultra marathon. For team sport, you have to keep going, go again, stop, go again, stop,
fall
go
on the
again.
ground, get up.
That's not surprising, From the moment you started doing higher intensity or sprint work when you were young or started running, you've built fast twitch muscle fiber probably at a higher rate than someone with the different genotype.
Wow, that's very interesting.
How do you, over the years, have you ever felt like a slow recoverer, a fast recoverer?
Yeah, over the years, definitely I've felt like a faster recoverer than normal. Obviously, when you get to your peak fatigue, you feel like death. But I think your recovery does happen. I felt does happen, especially post injury. I think there's been a lot of times I've recovered pretty quickly. And I haven't really understood why. A quick healer. My hammy that tore off the bone is normally like a 4 or 5 month period. I was sort of up on my feet after about three months already. That's something that I can definitely relate to in terms of from an injury point of view.
And then over here on the sort of nutrition side, there's a few key points, and we'll go through, but the ones that stick out to me is you're quite a low responder to saturated fats. Okay. And that would tell me that you probably could get away with eating more fat than the next person, which is good because it keeps, it's a good energy source. Anyway, fat and nutrition school of thought's changed a lot in professional sport over the years. It can be a negative or it can be a positive depending on what you're trying to do. And then a few other things, but we won't go too much into detail. Slightly raised need for vitamin D, raised need for omega-3, which is always good as a sports person to take that anyway.
Obviously, I've been at a number of different teams throughout my career, and switching from a Northern Hemisphere season, going back to play for South Africa is a lot different from a wintertime to a summertime. Your body conditions to different upper surfaces on field, for instance. So it definitely is different, and something that it is a bit of a challenge. I think knowledge is power, and the more you have of it, at the highest level, the 1%ers can make a massive difference.